pre-deployment training with them, and because it was so quickly announced, I think we only had about 3 weeks in Australia before we left. It was a very quick time. There was like heaps of training. They were pulling out old drills. When I look back on it now, the right training we were doing, because basically we were aid to the civil power over there at a start. The role wasn't really clearly defined. We didn't even know what we were doing. Like, you know, Somalia, where's that? Yeah, it's in Africa. Yeah, it's like something out of Ethiopia during the 1980s. I remember when I was a kid watching the live band and people starving, so that's what we got the feeling we were doing there. I was excited, you know, because one was, yep, I'm going overseas, I'm going to do something that's, you know, no one's done for a generation, and I'm just excited for myself. Somalia as a nation is divided up into clans and sub-clans, and these clans are all fighting each other for like political power, for a water well, for a camel herd. Like their wealth was based on things that we didn't really consider wealth. Physically, it was hard because it was a very hot, like some of the temperature was like 40 degrees plus. It was dry heat. Training in the peacetime army in the 90s as opposed to active service. I remember when I was a gunner, I'm carrying like 400 rounds of ammo, and my number 2 was carrying the other 200, thank Christ. But that was live ammo. In peacetime, you carry blank ammo, which is lighter. We never really trained for the weight. There was no one ever, you know, like ammunition, that projectile is lead. So, you know, carrying 400 lead projectiles of 5.56, it's a weight piles it on. Regiment tattooed on my, over my heart. And I remember the day I decided to have that tattoo was when I got told, okay, you had your knee operation, and he said, this is probably going to have career implications. Probably, you know, you're not going to be in the army anymore. I've been thinking about it for a while. I thought this is the time to get it. So I got my Skippy badge tattooed over my heart, because it was over my heart. And I think it cost me about $110, I remember that. Well, that's my second one. My first one was my blood group, which is fairly, I think, common for a lot of diggers. Even though I heard stories that if you go in the hospital, they ignore that anyway and take do a tissue type test anyway, because you might be some weirdo who tattoos on you, which is a big possibility. Or if someone could see my corpse and say, hey, that's an army tattoo. I'm not saying I was going to commit suicide, but it's a marker.